mTwDIMAGA, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kylaris, and today I'm going to be bringing you a series of games between DuckloadRa and DIMAGA, and then afterwards I'm going to bring you a game of myself, because I want to do something slightly different today. On ladder, personally, have been having problems with Zerg quite a lot. I actually lost like 100 points yesterday to like mostly Zerg, and then like gained it all back plus 1 point. So like I gained like 101 points back. So in like the whole total of yesterday, in like 10 games or something, I like gained 1 point, which was pretty brutal, but so what. But the point is, I wanted to do this not only for your benefit, but my benefit as well. I haven't seen these games. I do know that they're from BlizzCon. The losers bracket in BlizzCon, I believe, and I don't know the results of these games or anything like that because I couldn't be bothered watching the BlizzCon tournament because it was like 3 or 4 AM in the morning by the time it got on in where am I? Finland. So yeah, so this is going to be DuckloadRa versus DIMAGA, and I want to see primarily what DuckloadRa is doing against Zerg. So this is why I'm casting all 3 games, because I want to see some kind of trends. I want to see ultimately what he's going to be doing against him. And as you can see here, DuckloadRa has spotted DIMAGA in cross positions, which is always very good for Zerg. And he's going to be moving this probe over to where he's putting the expansion down just to be able to block it. Always a really good idea to do against Zerg at this point in time. Since you do know that he's going to be going for that expansion, and this pylon effectively forces him to put the spawning pool down a little bit earlier, even though he wanted to go hatch first. So as you can see, that pylon is preventing DIMAGA currently from expanding, although he will be doing it as soon as he does get a few Zerglings out in order to be able to pick away at that pylon. So this is the very big first thing that we see here. If you're spawning in cross positions, or not even if you're spawning in cross positions, if you see a Zerg going for that hatch first, you really want to try and deny that hatch as much as you possibly can do in order to kind of put pressure on the Zerg effectively, because the Zerg is playing for an economy-based game. He's not going to be going for some crazy all-in fag tactic at the start of a game. He's wanting to play. He wanted to play it in the macro style. Most Zergs want to play in this macro style, and if you can reject this macro style in general, then you're going to put yourself in a really good spot. So we do see, other than that, DuckloadRa is just kind of going for a very, very standard build. He's got 1 gas currently up. Cybernetics core has gone up, and he does have that Zealot out. He did get that Zealot before, well, during the Cybernetics core creation, and he is going for warp gates right now. Whilst that's going on, DIMAGA is going for the metabolic boost. What am I on about? Adrenal glands isn't until Hive. And we do see now that he is picking off this pylon as quickly as possible, getting this probe ready in order to put that in that expansion, and my frame rate lag's going mental. 1 second. Okay, I don't know why my frame rate's going strange, but it doesn't matter too much. Who cares? Anyway, we do see now DIMAGA does have that expansion down. So whilst DIMAGA has that expansion down, what I would like to do in this position, if my Zerg opponent does have an expansion up, I'd like to go either a 1-gate expand or a 3-gate expand. I know some people do go 2-gate expand. It's personal preference, really. But I'm imagining we're soon going to see DuckloadRa going for that expansion. And we do see this probe doing a little bit of scouting here, being chased around by a few Zerglings. And whilst all this is going on, we see that DIMAGA is grabbing his 2nd queen in order to transfer that over to his expansion, etc. We do see this probe has seen this expansion going up, so DuckloadRa knows the position he's currently in and has 2 gateways accordingly. So as I said before, I think we're going to be seeing a 3-gate expand here. At this point, DIMAGA does have a lot of Zerglings coming out. He's either preempting very early pressure, or I'm not so sure. He must be preempting early pressure, because most Zerg players in this position will just drone up more drones, more drones, more drones, more drones. Although that being said, the speed has finished, and maybe he's going to be applying a lot of early pressure with this actually. There isn't a ton here for DuckloadRa to defend with, although warp gates have just finished. And he is throwing a pylon in this position in order to maybe put something on the low ground, I'm not so sure. DIMAGA here is throwing up 1 Zergling, and what on earth is with this frame rate? Oh my god, don't make me angry. Don't make me angry! I need to fix this, seriously. Okay, I think I may have fixed it, I'm not so sure, but if I have or haven't, we'll soon find out. So, as you can see here, DuckloadRa is indeed gearing up for this expansion. He's killing that Zergling and is going to be throwing that down. But at this point in time, DIMAGA does have a lot of Zerglings here. Good force fields would be able to pincer these guys in. Nice force fields. Yeah, actually, they're pretty nice force fields. The Zerglings are being taken out by these units, although that being said, a lot of the Zerglings did take out one of those Stalkers, so not a very good exchange at that point for DiMAGA there. Force fields really, really help early on against a Zerg player, and I'm actually going to be coming back to... What I want to show in my game is the fact that I have a massive problem with letting Zerg get in this early base. So I want to show people what I do against like 1.6k diamonds upwards in order to be able to prevent a Zerg from getting a foothold on their normal play, in essence. So now we do see DuckloadRa is positioning buildings in positions where he can make sure that he's funneling units into his expansion, putting this pylon here so you can't have a run-by of Zerglings. And there is actually a little opening there, which I'm not so sure DuckloadRa planned on, but I think one force field can easily shut anything down that's going through there. So now forcing quite a few spines at this point. I'm surprised that these spines have gone up. DiMAGA does realise that this force is quite strong, especially since it did kill a lot of his Zerglings. And what the crap is going on with my FPS? Seriously, oh my god. I'm just going to keep going. And if FPS issues become a problem, then frig you bastard stupid thing. So yeah, DiMAGA realising that if White Rat were to push in with these forces now, he would be in a very big spot of bother, and we do see weapons +1 going up for White Ra, as well as a Spire going up for Zerg. And again, this is one of the main problems that I have as Protoss, and I'm sure you guys have it too. Frigging Spire, frigging Mutas, frigging coming into the back of your base, frigging harassing like no tomorrow. And we do see now DiMAGA is throwing up these extra gases in order to be able to fund this Spire production once his Spire does go up. So now White Ra sensing imminent danger and is going to be moving out with a very considerably good contingent of gateway units here. And going to be a spot of bother for DiMAGA, although that being said, there are a ton of spines here. Although they could quite easily do a run-by actually and hope for the best, White Ra at this point. And these two Zerglings have spotted this pylon, and with the use of this tower over here, and is going to be trying to take down this pylon, although this Zealot is going to be able to fend this off no problem. And now throwing up another pylon in a forward position, although I'm not so sure White Ra knows about these spines. Going to be trying to pick off as many as he possibly can do. I'm surprised that he's actually engaging on this, as that is a ton of spines and a ton of Zerglings at this point. And this, again, is another problem I have with the Zerg. Once you've kind of annihilated maybe some of their forces or whatever, you get to their base and you see a ton of spines, and then the Zerglings get a run-by on you, and oh my god, it's also horrendous. So this is mainly why I want to see what is going on in this matchup. Personally, I don't think White Ra is in the right position here to be moving out with these units. These spines are way too strong at this point, and this probe being chased away by a Zergling now. And DiMAGA now going for his third base, as well as, where are the Mutalisks? They must be somewhere. These Mutalisks are going to be causing a hell of a lot of problems now that he doesn't actually have any units in his base. He does have a few Stalkers here, going to be warping in more Stalkers in order to be able to fend this off. Nice play here, but personally I just don't see Stalkers as being the viable ultimate counter to Mutalisks. They just... Mutas in large numbers just like rip Stalkers apart, and like badly, I mean badly. So as you can see there was 2 Mutas lost, but 2 Stalkers lost as well. And cost for cost, that just doesn't really work in the end, bringing a lot of these Stalkers back. But whilst this is happening, as you can see, White Ra now is penned into his base. All these Mutas and Lings are giving DiMAGA a massive advantage when it comes to map control, and there is no way in hell White Ra is going to be able to notice this base in time to be able to do anything about it. I can see White Ra now is going for his second expansion, but in my... I keep coming back to the in my opinion statement, but trying to grab that third is... Oh, actually, he's not going for that third, but trying to grab that third in this position where you've got Mutas and Lings running across the map is so difficult as a Protoss player. It's so hard to secure these advantages, and as you can see, he would have been checking up in this base, but sees that there isn't a second expansion, although throwing a second expansion up at the goal, pretty ballsy here, and this is noticed by these Zerglings, even though picking off that probe as well. So these Zerglings quite easily could run up here, get a few pot shots off on these units, units, although they have to be wary of these units here. And plus we're 2 weapons up now going up for DuckloadRa, and a few more mutas in production, as well as a 3rd base now going up for DuckloadRa. So you can really see how much ground control and map control in general the mutas and lings give a Zerg player, and this is what I'm really trying to combat against in my games. I'm just going to speed this up so I can fit it into one video, because it makes me angry to put it into 2 videos. So now Blink being researched, and a lot of these stalkers are going to be picked off so easily by these mutas here in the 3rd base, and I'm actually quite surprised DuckloadRa did notice this base. And a few spines going up, but a big engagement slowing this down now. Big engagement going on here, and even with all these stalkers, they're just not going to be able to defeat the majority of these mutas. Oh, nice force fields though. But all these Zerglings now swarming in on the back, and as you can see there, the Zerglings and mutas clean up this stalker force pretty damn easily, and now 20 Zerglings in production. Blink has now just finished though, and it seems like DuckloadRa right now is in a spot of bother, and it's all down to this Muta-Ling play. Nice Blink trying to pick off a few of those Mutalisks, but it's not going to be proved to any use, as a massive wave of Zerglings have come in now and going to be ripping them apart. In my opinion, Zerglings are pretty damn overpowered in high numbers. I mean, force fields can like rip them to shreds in essence, but if you get those force fields wrong, you are screwed. You are like brutally screwed in a bad way. Especially if you don't even have sentries in your composition, you are frigging screwed. So now, as you can see, this is going to be pretty much GG pretty soon. Sorry if I have my mic a bit too close to my mouth, I've only just realised, but I do have a few more casts to do today, so I can redeem myself there. And as you can see, DuckloadRa just, again, just controlling the map, expanding where the hell he likes, and just being pretty damn brutal with Muta-Ling. So this is really what I want to try and get at, and this is the main thing that I want to try and kind of get away from. And weapons level 3 now going up for DuckloadRa. Pretty nice upgrades going for DuckloadRa right now. I don't think that Zerg has any upgrades at all. Where are these Mutalisks? Oh, just +1 weapons on those Mutalisks. But as you can see, this is going to be pretty much game. I'm going to speed this up a bit more because it is pretty much game at this point. Once that expansion does go down, you know it's going to be game from there. So yeah, that was GG, and I'm going to come back with game 2 to see if DuckloadRa does anything different. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in game 2.